Hey everyone, it's Maury Dunbar. Welcome back to Painted. It is oh my goodness, it is the Sunday before Christmas. I can't believe it's finally upon us. A couple of announcements. As of today, we are closed from today until through the 26th. We'll be reopened on the 27th. Not a big surprise. Monday's day we're always closed. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday we're normally open, but Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after Christmas, I'm spending time with my family. Now, if you all need something, send me a message. I'll be more than happy to pop by the studio, be here, get it to you. This does not affect online orders, online shipping. All of that is normal. It's just the studio itself will be closed down for a couple days so that I can spend some time with my family over the holidays. And we all know I'm here all the time. All right, so let's get into today's project by showing you how yesterday's projects finished up. So you saw yesterday that we did those 2-foot long tiles, and then we poured epoxy and all kinds of stuff. Well, look how cool they came out. This is the camo and rose gold with the gold shatter. Oh, I'm sorry, this is ash glitter in it. I mean, gosh. And it's dry as can be, dry as a bone, hard cure in another, let's see, we did these almost 24 hours ago, so they'll be hard cured by Wednesday morning. Awesome. And then we put the stoppers on the back. So these are the little felt stoppers right here. You can buy these at every hardware store. They're great for furniture. But because we have, yeah, you just heard me smack this thing. Obviously it's a tile. It didn't break that easily. Because we have a texture on the background here, I suggest not just counting on the actual adhesive on these pads and putting a little glue under there, which is what I've done. My glue is not 100% dry, but it's there. So here's the one that looks like, gosh, this just looks like a New Year's Eve party. I mean, I really love this. Look how awesome that is. I'm setting them over to the side as we speak because I'm also clearing the space for our next project. And let's see, here is the Jaguar one with a little bit of hunter green, and then this has got the gold shatter in there, so there's a lot of beautiful reflection in there. And I don't think the camera just doesn't pick it up. It doesn't do it justice. Ugh. My arms need to grow longer. Here is the Nova glitter. I think this is Nova glitter. Let me turn it up so the patterns. You can have the pattern any way you want, but this has got that amethyst shattering that you can see here and here. We've got the pink foil with the pattern, and then we've got the Nova background foil with more glittery pattern. And for those who asked, there is a slight texture with the shatter. If I wanted that texture to go away, I just pour another coat of epoxy on here and call it a day, but I don't have to do that because I like that little bit of texture. It's a personal choice. And here's the final one with the cheetah and the matte gold, and then we had the gold shatter in there. I mean, God, look how cute these all came out. I couldn't be more thrilled. We will be selling those on our Facebook page, on our business site, paintedstudio.com. If anybody needs one of these shipped out super fast, I can still get it to you overnight shipped tomorrow. It's the last day of shipping before Christmas. If you need it by another day, let me know. We'll talk. All right, on to the next project. So you've seen me with the wooden cutouts before. And you've seen this one. I did this one, I think, last year, and there's a video on my channel about that. And you can see when you buy this cutout, you get not just the deer, but you get the outside. And you just cut the little bridges that are right in here and sand it all down. And these are awesome. That's one we've had before. Well, we have a new one that you all haven't seen, and it's the tree. Okay, the tree popped out, looks like this. Backing up so you can see it. And then there is the cutout shape. So now you can leave these together and do a complete design, or you can pop them apart, make two gifts out of one, or what I'm planning to do with this one is I got to figure out how to do it, but I'm going to make a stand for the tree and a stand for the background, so it almost acts like a shadow caster for it. Haven't figured that one out yet, but I will. Hi, Mary. Nice to see you watching. Oh, let me reach back for my sandpaper. So these all come unfinished, raw wood, and then you decide what to do with them. I am sanding the one rough edge that I missed. And I used, here, where is it? I basically gave these one single coating of SetCoat Clear. SetCoat Clear, if you're familiar with SetCoat, this is basically an untinted base of SetCoat, otherwise known as ArtsSyVille for those go back that far. Looks white in the container, dries crystal clear, has all the properties of SetCoat, being that it's interior and exterior rated. It has a great paintable surface. Most of the time it's what we use to, in the decorative finishing business, we use to seal up an already existing quality color paint on a wall and use it to do finishes over. But for furniture, I use it for other things. But in this case, I just wanted to seal up the wood so that we had this beautiful wood to work with, because I'm kind of going with a little bit of Swedish, Finnish, Scandinavian inspiration on this, and we're gonna keep this super simple. I'm just looking down while I'm talking to you, catching any rough edges that I see. So now the first thing I'm gonna do is angle this up and down so that you can see what I'm working on. There we go. In screen, I like to make sure you can all see exactly what's going on. If I don't answer your questions when you post them, I will answer them later in the comments, and please don't think I've forgotten you. It's just I only have the phone up here right now. For whatever reason, my iPad will not allow me to read your questions as you're posting them, so I can't always read from that far away. So the first thing we're going to do, after I have sealed this with ArtsSyVille or SetCoat Clear, for those of you who don't know the Faux Effects products, it's now SetCoat Clear. See, I keep finding these little spots. This has nothing to do with the quality of the cutting. It has everything to do with the quality of my sanding, because I hate sanding. So I just keep finding these little rough edges that I kind of ignored before. So if I'm going to do a tree in a forest, and this is the background, and I'm keeping it sort of Scandinavian feeling, I want to create something that looks a little like snow in the background, but has a really pretty pattern. So I'm going to use this stencil, and this is one that I got at Chicago Institute of Fine Finishes, or Faux by Kathy. It's a great pattern. I happen to really enjoy it for this idea. So we're going to set this down. I'm not worrying about whether or not it gets here into the middle, because I'm plastic coated underneath. It won't make any difference. I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to take my little tiny trowel. We carry these. And where did my little stir stick go? I moved everything around to make it easier, and then I made it so easy I moved it all away from myself. And I'm going to pull up my sleeves, because anybody who knows me knows I tend to stick my elbows and stuff. So we're going to take our ArtsSyVille texture medium, and as you can see, it's got kind of the consistency of marshmallow fluff. This might be a little stiffer than that right now because it's been an open can that I've had sitting around, but it's still perfectly good. And I'm troweling it untinted. I can add tints and colors to it, but I don't want it that way right now. I am troweling it untinted across the stencil. These little dots will, in my mind, give the impression of swirling snowflakes. And it doesn't take much product to do this. I mean, this is not a very thick stencil, so it doesn't require a whole lot of material to fill in the openings. And you can see I've filled in some here. It's no big deal. When I get it, take it off of here and throw it into the sink later, it'll all just wash off. I was gonna have everything perfectly cleaned up and ready for me to close as soon as we finished. And then I realized I have to wash all the tools that I use for this. Have a little momentary wake-up call of going, maybe not. That's not my best idea. I want to get that out of that dot. I don't want that big dot there. That's a registration mark, but I'm going to use the circles that are already here for my registration. I don't want a bigger dot changing the pattern. Oh, look how nicely this spreads. This really just spreads like cake frosting. It's so easy to use. And I'll have a slightly porous texture when it dries. And if I wanted to, I could glaze or stain it or do whatever I wanted to it. All right, I have gotten the majority of this done. Now, I'm gonna go, after I finish this up, I'm gonna go quickly throw this back in my hot box in the back, because I can't move this stencil down to this section until this is dry, because otherwise I'm just gonna smear the living daylights out of it. So I'm gonna take this, I'm going to pick it up, lift it carefully, oh, look how cute that came out. And there's mess in here, and there's a little goop on the edges. That's easy enough to deal with. I gotta find a place to set the stencil down, though, that I won't crud up something else. There we go. And look how cute that pattern is. And I did it on purpose on this side because I liked that burl in there. I mean, just, this came out so cute with the texture medium, and it really will sort of hint at snow in the background. Hi Sarah, nice to see you here. And then there's little blobs right in here, and all I'm gonna do is go in with my finger and clean them out. If you don't wanna get your fingers dirty, you can always use a Q-tip. Since I always manage to get my fingers in everything anyway, why not just use my fingers? And if I miss any of these, I don't worry about that either, because I can just sand them off. They'll just chip right off. So I'm gonna go put this in the hot box. I'll be right back. Everybody, thanks for your patience. I wanted to make sure that I got that in there just right. I'm gonna scrape up all this extra plaster off of there. Where did I put my container? Put it right over here. And I'm gonna set that trowel to the side. And the next thing I'm gonna do is take a little bit of this, and I'm just gonna stick it right on here. And like I said, you can see it's kind of got this funky, spongy, whipped fluff kind of texture. And then I'm going to take my tree. Like I said, I don't care if I get it on my hands, because I got a towel right over here to wipe my hands off. A lot of times I wear gloves for things, but when I get into something like this, sometimes I just leave my hands bare because I need to be able to touch things. Okay, so I've got the tree here. Let's see, which side do I want to do it on? See, and I just put that down on the wrong side because this is what I wanted. I wanted this little burl right here and these lines right here, which were part of the original background. You saw that big burl in it, the big knot. So I want to do all the same side because then the shape matches too. So I'm going to take now a good old palette knife, and here's what I'm going to do. So when you see trees, snowy trees in the woods, you know, they're going to have snow on the upper parts of their branches. Now I can just leave it like this if I want, and just give it a little texture. Maybe wipe my finger along the edge to clean it, or I can take this and turn this upside down. And let's see if I can get this close up. This is not going to be easy, so if I stick my fingers in the camera and you don't see anything. There we go. Got you a little closer, zoomed in a little bit, and I'm going to pull this so you can see. You can take your palette knife and start creating textures like this along the edges. I am at the wrong angle. There we go. And then you kind of go back under that one, smooth it out, and then go into the next layer. And then smooth under that. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of creating a staggered pattern that sort of imitates branch. Again, this is not something you have to do. I just happen to like the way it looks. So let me hold that up closer so you can see what we've got for texture. It's a little like cake frosting, so you can do it that way, or you can just take it if you don't like any of that and just sort of smooth it around the edges. And it looks like a snowdrift on your branches. And I have time to play with this a little bit, so you know, I can go back into that side if I want to and create more texture or remove it, whatever I want. So what I'm going to do is a different side with the texture in it and see if I like the texture better. Kind of visually compare. I can leave this rough like this. You see I've smoothed over one side. I've left it more rough on this side. I have lots of options on how I can do this. And I'm just playing with my palette knife to see the patterns that I can create. I kind of like the combination of messy there. I think the other side just looked a little too perfect for me. So I'm going to take a little more product. I'm going to go in here, smear it around, make it a little less perfect. I just made my own life easier by not having to do all those little scoopy details. Like I said, I check things out. I try different things so you can see if you like it, you like it. If not, you try a different way. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically doing the same thing on all of these outcropped branches. And the other nice thing is because I used the SetCoat Clear on the wood, if I don't like this, this actually kind of just wipes off while it's still wet, because I've already sealed up the wood, so I don't have to worry about it ruining it and because soaking in if I don't like what I've done. Oh, this is gonna be cute. Put a little bit on some of these other more defined. I didn't do this down here, but this is a little more defined. This is a little more defined. It's a matter of thinking about what would actually land on a branch on a tree that makes it look more balanced. So if you're living someplace where there's snow right now, kind of like we thought there was going to be this week, because we've had snow predicted forever and all that ever shows up is rain. That's typical Chicago. Everybody thinks we get blizzards here all the time. No, we just get a lot of rain. So I really like how that's coming out. Okay, just want to get everything evenly covered. See, I squished it right there. Look, I can just wipe that right off. And I just clean up the edges, and later, if it's too sharp or bumpy on any spot, I will just simply knock it down. But look how cute this is coming out. Oh, I'm really loving this. Oh, I'm so happy. I might actually finish one full project in a live, which is not something that happens all the time. Usually, I gotta do a couple to get a project finished, because I've always got like 16 things going at once. But today, it's just this project, because I finished up my last cabinet for my client, who I didn't realize was out of town anyway. So, but it's all ready and waiting for her, so it's just going to be sitting here in the top coat's curing. I finished all these other small jobs for other people, so it's all been great. And I'm just on time for finishing up, and I spent part of the day cleaning the studio, because if we're going to be closed for a few days, I'd like to come back to a very clean studio. Now, I'm doing the peak because I want to kind of imply that there's a third dimension here. I'm not going to go down and do it all the way. I could, but quite frankly, that's more stuff than I want to do. I want to keep this as simple as possible. I'm going to enjoy the two-dimensionality of this and make the more 3 dimensions when I put the two items together. And I will post pictures of how I have mounted the tree and the background so that you can see it in as a more 3-dimensional project, like a shadow box almost. A little more sculptural than painterly. I think that's what I was kind of going for in my head. Of course, what's in my head and what comes out is not always the same thing. Okay, I need just a little more. There's my scooper. I gotta get these couple branches here. I don't need that much, but and this is wonderful stuff. It doesn't, I'm building it up thick. It won't crack. I won't have any chipping or flaking with it. It'll be just perfect. So you see I dropped a little bit of the product right there down on the branch here. From here down here I put product simply because I had so much on my palette knife that it was not going to give me the result on this branch that I wanted. I need to change my angle a little bit. See, I just stuck my finger in it here. I am so gifted some days. It's unbelievable. I hope you hear sarcasm in that. I'm talented at sticking my fingers in things. More product than I wanted right there. So I'm just scraping some of it off. And you see I've got this smeary mess right here. Well, watch. because I put the SetCoat Clear on here, I'm just wiping it back with my fingers. There we go. A little less goop on there. I shouldn't be calling texture medium goop, but it was, when it's going wrong, it doesn't matter what the product is. I just call it goop because I got to get it off of where I don't want it. I think this is going to just come out so pretty. I know everybody's so used to me doing shiny, blingy stuff. It must be kind of a shock just to see me going as neutral as I possibly can go. It would confuse me too. All right, I want to turn this around because I got to get at this at a different angle because I'm not happy right here, and it's too far away. I'm reaching too far. So we have our snowy tree. That's gonna get set aside to dry. And if I'm lucky, my other board will be dry. So give me just a second. I'm gonna go grab it out of the back, see if we can finish that stencil up. Here we go. And good news, we are dry enough to do the next layer on the stencil. I'm just going to pull that little ball of gook out of there. And let's see if, hang on a second, I want to make sure I clean all the extraneous product off of here. Because I don't want it to go and bleed onto the next layer. And I do that so that I can get any little bits. Now, you know, if I was doing this not in a live video, I would have taken this stencil, washed it, waited for the other side to dry a little more. I would have gone and done this a whole bunch of other ways, but that's not what I did. We're doing it in a live, so I'm just sort of sticking my hand over and picking up anything that might be wet or damp or mushy, and that way I can put on my next layer of stencil. And now I just gotta find it. I gotta see how the registration works because I have no memory which direction anything is. Nope. Maybe make that work. You know, that's gonna be pretty damn close, so I'm not gonna complain. And then I'll take my trowel again, make sure I clean the edge off. Take a little product, and here we go. Now, let's hope I haven't totally screwed this up by pushing this to go a little faster than I normally do. We'll find out when I pick up this stencil. All right, there's not too much left to be filled in. Hold your breath, be hopeful, folks, that I didn't screw it up. Yay, it came out just right. I have one little tiny smear there and something that I didn't want right there. So we are good. We are good to go. This will dry and it will be just stunning. All right, folks, I'm setting that to the side. Coming in. Then. So, it was great to have you all here. I appreciate you coming in and watching me the Sunday before Christmas. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. I hope you spend lots of time with your family, friends, and loved ones. We here at Painted appreciate everything that you have done to keep us open and keep us going. It's the first year of a new studio, and everything that you all have done has been a blessing to us. So we hope you have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season, and I'll talk to you after Christmas. Bye.